lots of caffeine going today. What is up, guys? Welcome to the first of the Let Out Fridays of 2020. I am hyper, so that only means one thing. Woo! So before we get going, I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow my beginner guitar course, the Rock and Roll Bootcamp, will be available for 1 week. That starts Saturday. I'll make a video about that, but just a little heads up if any of you guys are interested in that. So today, this is totally a video suggested by you guys. I got the idea from one of you in the comments. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the exact comment. But someone left a comment saying that I should do a video about the mistakes left in Led Zeppelin songs. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. And totally let me clarify what I'm saying is a mistake. I'm not critiquing Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, John Bonham, Robert Plant. I'm not critiquing their playing at all. I would have to be an idiot to do that because, you know, they're legends. So without further ado, we're going to jump on into these. Like I said, these are just simply studio mistakes that they left in. And if I am missing some, let me know. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a video documenting a lot of these just little hidden gems. You know, I don't even know if you could call them mistakes, but there's like gems inside of these songs that I think are really interesting. So let's go! Alright, so the first one is then none other than Whole Lotta Love, and most people probably don't even realize that this mistake is even in there because it sounds like it was done on purpose, but it actually wasn't. So at the end of the song, when you hear Robert Plant go, "Woman," and then you hear the echo, I'm going to not continue to sing Robert Plant stuff, but you hear it echo in there, that was actually a mistake. So, you know, Eddie Kramer was talking about how when they were recording, they had the 2 takes, and that second voice you hear is actually a completely different take that bled over, and he couldn't get rid of it. And he was talking about how him and Jimmy Page were sitting there, like, listening to it, like, what are we going to do with this, you know? It's either, like, cut a whole new take, because, you know, they just really like the vibe of that one, and he said they both, Jimmy and Eddie, both reached for the reverb, and they're like, oh, we're going to do the same thing. And they said they were kind of laughing about the fact that they both had the same idea, like just drench it in reverb and add it as an echo. And that's what they did. But that was actually not intentional there at the end. That was a mistake. That was a completely different take that was in there. And it just bled over, and they just had no choice but to keep it, and they just made it work. And I think that's really, really cool. Right in the intro of the song, so if you know the song Black Country Woman, there's a part in the very beginning you hear them talking about something, and essentially they're talking about a plane that flew overhead while Robert was tracking his vocals. And they're saying that I'm trying to take the plane out, and you hear Robert playing go, no, leave it in. And it just adds a really cool little like dynamic to it, and I thought that was really interesting because they actually tracked, I think, almost that whole song. I don't know about the drums, I can't say that, but I believe they tracked Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones outside. They wanted a sound that just sounded very open and didn't have the isolation of a studio. So they actually tracked it outside, and they tried to do a similar thing with Plant's vocals to give it a similar vibe, and that's just where, you know, like I said, the plane flew overhead, and he's like, no, leave it. So I thought that was kind of cool, that it was not something they had planned, but, you know, they left it in there, and it just kind of like one of those little, you can call it a mistake or not if you want to, but I thought that was cool that they decided to leave that in there. Alright, so this next one totally changed how I even hear the song now. And it's actually an article I was reading with Jimmy Page. He was talking about, on Since I've Been Loving You, John Bonham's squeaky bass pedal. So if you listen to it now, you can hear it, and Jimmy's saying that he's like, every time he hears that song, he feels like it just gets louder and louder, and he really wishes that they would have caught that, in, you know, when they were recording it, because they could have taken it out, or, you know, whatever it would have been, just to make that less prevalent. But I had never noticed it before until I like I said, once I read that, then I'm just like, oh my god, I can't unhear it. So be warned, if you go listen to Since I've Been Loving You, you're going to hear the squeaky bass pedal, which I shouldn't say, it's not like annoying or anything. To me, it's just, it's interesting that I know what it is now, you know? So it changed it, you know, better or worse. It's definitely an interesting little thing that was left in, I think, without them even realizing that it was there until like years later. Jimmy's like, you know, I really wish we would have noticed that that was happening and we would have taken it out. But, you know, it's just kind of forever part of the song now. Alright, and the final one here, because like I said, there's a website that listed a bunch of this stuff. They were talking about actual note mistakes and all that stuff, and like I said, I feel like I have no grounds to critique, you know, anyone in Led Zeppelin. Oh my god, no. But in, of course, The Ocean, there is a little clip in there where you hear a telephone ring in the background. It's around 1 minute and 37 seconds. So if you haven't checked that out, go listen to it. It's really, really funny because I'd never noticed it until now. I can't unhear it. I'm just like, oh, that's really funny. You can just hear it in the background, and I just wonder if they were just like, like stop, someone get the phone, whatever it would be. But I don't know if they realized it was in there at the time, but it is, and it's just one of those little cool things. It's just another like little human aspect to all of Led Zeppelin songs. Alright, home diggity dogs, that is gonna be it. So I hope you guys are enjoying these Led Zeppelin Fridays. Get let out with me. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I'm gonna lay down some rhythm here so you can jam along if you want to. Get your guitars, and don't forget the Rock and Roll Boot Camp will be available starting tomorrow for everyone for 1 week if you're a beginner. Or even kind of intermediate. I had a lot of intermediate players say they also were enjoying it. So that's gonna be it. Get your guitars, and I'll lay down some rhythm for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.